Milan FinTech Summit 2024, Allianz MiCo, Milan. 2 days of work to talk about the future of fintech and the innovation in financial and banking services. In this moment, we are together with Daniele Francescon, who is co-founder at Serenis. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So, Daniele, with you, we want to better understand how, in a hyper digitized world and always more and more speedy world, we can say, how is important the wellness of talent, of professionals, also in an industry like that of fintech that is always focused on numbers, on new applications, hyper digitization, and something like that. But also today, in the main stage, we heard about the importance to bring the people at the center of the loop. What does it mean, according to you, this kind of sentence?
Thank you for the question. It's super interesting, and I think the main topic here is that whenever we think about fast-pacing environments and so on, we most of the time forget that behind that there's a lot of people working, and there's I think a very understated topic and underestimated, which is that basically people go to work not to have fun. Working typically sucks, you know. And if we look at data, there's a recent research by Hayes, the recruiting company. They say 1 out of 3 people is really happy about their job. Okay, so and when they ask, do you want to leave? Do you plan to leave, or would you fly away in a desert island and change your life? Actually, 1 out of 10 says, I'm actually about to do it, and the 50% of people would say, yeah, I would like to, but
Maybe tomorrow.
yeah, but I don't know how, and so on. And the reasons why they do it, it's not for money. It's because they're looking for more work-life balance, more safety, more happiness, and so on. So it's very important not to forget that there's people behind whatever we do, and especially in fast-paced environment where I'm from, there's a lot to be done to take into consideration that working typically sucks.
So, but the innovation world and let's say also the fintech environment are sectors in which the dreams and the scope of your work is so important. You need to be proud about your daily life and your working life in order to realize your dream and make dream come true. But according to these, what are today in a post-COVID era, we can say the main challenges to reach this goal, and maybe also under the company's point of view, how they can help the professionals and the talents inside to reach this goal.
You mentioned COVID. No, I think that COVID put everyone into a different perspective about their mental health and their mental well-being, so to say. What do we need to do? In my point of view, is to start from understanding the phenomenon and asking people how they feel, measuring. You were in a fintech event, numbers can be of use in this case, and so realizing what people are looking for, and how much their well-being in the workplace affects their lives and so on, is the basis on deciding what to do next. I give you a couple of data on this matter as well. We did a research with the University of Padova, and what comes is basically that 1 in 2 people, so 50% of people, say that their work and their well-being at work influences their life outside of work, which means family, which means physical health, and so
Also
on.
because the work impact or affect the 70%, 75% of the day. So
Of course, yeah, we spend 8 hours a day
to avoid
working.
bring it at home. It's impossible.
So it's very difficult to split between your work life and your private life most of the time. So imagine the way you feel at work and you bring at home. So I think the main message here is realizing that people have needs, and that those needs can be fulfilled in the workplace, but not necessarily. Okay, so starting to maybe the storytelling you were talking about before, like we need to change the world, there's this very strong purpose. It's very good to drive people doing stuff, but at the end of the day you're working, and it's also fair to admit that it's okay not to be okay while you're at work.
Yes, yes. But what can be the good advices in order to bring people to trust in the company's dream? So, in the idea that with their work they can change not maybe all the world, but they can create a brick to make the change. So,
uh, I think
because
this
I
is a very
think
true.
this
Yeah,
is important. No, when you are a
yeah.
professional, you are in a company, you need to trust in the idea or in the scope of the
Yeah,
company.
I
No.
think it's not a matter of convincing people that what they're doing makes sense.
Mhm.
Okay, I would move the spotlight of what can I do as a company to make people be a little bit happier in the workplace. Okay,
Okay.
and I think there's a lot of stuff that can be done, of course, but in my point of view, first of all, is asking people how they feel, not hiding behind the storytelling that everything is amazing. Just boiling down to numbers once again. How do you feel, and what is the biggest problem you're having at the moment? How can we tackle it? And the second advice is to avoid well washing. We talked about it today, which is basically, being fair on having interventions that solve problems rather than help you communicate and market as a company. And last but not least, I think there's a very strong advice that most of the time is underestimated, which is when we talk about the well-being of people, which goes from the highest purpose, but down to earth to how they feel in the workplace. If they feel in an emotionally safe environment,
Mhm.
there's a lot of stuff that can be learned. So psychology is a subject you can study it. Managers can be trained and prepared to deal with people. Let's remember that if you're a manager, the well-being of the person reporting to you or working alongside you is a super important matter, and you have levers to destroy their life if you want,
Yes.
but also to help them out. So I would say let's just get prepared to it.
So we need to make them understand that being a manager is not a question, is not a matter about economics, just economics, but also is a matter about people, a matter about teams, and other things like that. And so we need to convince maybe the managers that the people need to be the first thing of their job, of their work.
It's a matter to have clear what are your responsibilities as a manager. It's not only the bottom line P&L, but it's
Mhm.
also making sure the people that are around you feel safe, feel well, and then perform.
And
And not
maybe
give a,
also believe in you as a manager,
of course, there's a
as a
lot of stuff,
person.
but I think when it goes this way and not the other way around, I I'm happy to think that the corporate world is going to be a better word.
Yeah. Thank you for being with us and
Thank
for
you.
your spotlight on this.
Thank you very much.